Ladies and gentlemen, introducing our officials for this match. Our first referee, Mr. Lumer Pajarillo, National Referee. Our second referee, Mr. Chetro Nil Paredes, National Referee. Let's call on the starting lineup of our Santa Rosa City Lions. Let's start with their team captain wearing jersey number 9, outside spiker Harvey Quezada. Outside spiker number 1, Yoyong Mendoza. Starting center number 3, Echo Adahar. Middle blocker number 5, Andre Bakil. Opposite spiker number 6, Axel Bok. And another middle blocker number 7, Gab Maxino. Their starting libero is number 15, Aljun Centeno. Head coach for the Lions is Mr. Edward John Lirio. Calling on the starters of the Navigators, Iloilo. Team captain wearing jersey number 4, outside spiker Jerome Cortez. Opposite hitter number 2, Toto De Pedro. Starting center number 6, JM Apolinario. Middle blocker number 13, Nas Kuwaza. Middle blocker number 14, Rash Nursidik. And outside spiker number 21, Jay Disquitado. Their starting libero is number 9, JM Espanso. Head coach for the Navigators Iloilo is Mr. John Kenneth Panis.
Here we have your starters for Santa Rosa and Iloilo. Santa Rosa is actually changing liberos today. They have Aljun Centeno, jersey number 15, coming in their starting lineup. And of course, the usual 6 wearing red for today para sa Santa Rosa. And as for the Navigators of Iloilo, it's the same faces. Jaden Skitado leading the way, now going up against his former team in Santa Rosa. Iloilo still undefeated, folks. They are 5-0 in our open conference. And then Santa Rosa, they have 3 wins, 4 losses. What's interesting is that those 4 losses were their first 4 games in this conference. So that means their last 3 came off of victories. Can you argue, or is it very obvious that these 2 teams are red hot coming into today's matchup?
Well, definitely, no? Dahil like what we mentioned during the pre-game also, na both teams galing lang sila sa panalo nila no previous games nila. So we'll see who has more intensity to get this win. If the Navigators Iloilo can maintain their clean standing, or itong si Santa Rosa will hand them their first loss.
How about Andy Bakil? Talk about fire, talk about energy. Bakil gets the first point for the red shirts today. Apolinario to the slide. By the way, we should mention as Nursidik scores his first point, JM Apolinario is currently the number one setter in our open conference.
And yung previous game nila against PGJC Navy, when Iloilo won by 5 sets, itong si Apolinario had 29 excellent sets. During the start of that game, talagang inactivate niya all of his spikers. Kaya naman nahirapan yung mga blockers ng PGJC Navy nung game na yun.
But it looks like Jericho Adahar is also answering back here for Santa Rosa as he goes to the open, and that's a point for Axel Boo. Kita mo yung tale of 2 extremes for today, Paneng. We have the tallest setter and one of the smallest setters here in our open conference. But both of them have been very impressive, as now we get to see a block from Santa Rosa.
And that was the first kill block for this set. Maganda yung timing na yon ni Quesada. Take a look at this. Perfect timing on the running attack that lands inside the court of the Navigators Iloilo.
So now it's 3 serving 1 to start this matchup. De Pedro on the first ball. Oh, Jay Disquitado. See the athleticism, see the vertical leap. That's why he's one of our national team players.
Yes, and grabe yung hang time nito ni Jay Disquitado. Take a look at this. Really waiting the hands of his blockers. Once na makita niya na yun, dun niya papatamain yung bola or papadaanin on top of his blockers.
And remember, you mentioned in that 5th set, Jay Disquitado was responsible for closing things out against Navy after a bit of a body language dip in sets 3 and 4.
In sets 3 and 4. But entering to the fifth set naman, it was a close game for Iloilo and Navy. Nagkaabot pa sila sa 10 points, not until ito si Jade Desquitado scored 3 points. Oh, that's still a good ball.
Right. How about this net defense of Santa Rosa? And they score on the quick. Gab Magsino gets his first point.
That is a good start for Santa Rosa. Take a look at this replay. Good coverage. And hindi nakita ni Jade kung nasan yung bola, but saktong-sakto. Maganda naman ang pagkakataas ng bola.
Did it hit his head?
It does.
It did.
It did.
Oh, a service error here for Harvey Quezada, the team captain of Santa Rosa. Still, they have the lead. But Paneng, you can feel the energy today, no?
Oo, ang ganda ng pasok nitong Santa Rosa City Lions to start this game. But sometimes, if you look back during their previous games, maganda yung start nila, pero hindi nila nasusustain hanggang sa panapos ng game eh.
So that is a question. They have sustained their energy, their level of play, and their wins against Vanguard and Army, where they won in 5 sets respectively. It was just against Air Force where they won in 3.
That's right.
Apolinario back sets. Desquitado, this time from the other angle. You know, we also have to mention that these are two of the youngest teams
Oo nga.
in the Open Conference. You think that is why you feel this level of energy today? There's a certain atmosphere that's different.
Maybe that's one of the reason, or maybe also iba na yung game plan nila, especially itong si Santa Rosa. Dahil ito nga si Dinavigators Iloilo, wala pa silang talo for this conference. And it's for Santa Rosa side naman, this is a must-win game for them. So they want to start this game right, and hopefully they will be able to end it right also.
It's a great block right there by the D-Navigators of Iloilo. Now it's Jade Desquitado serving for the white shirts. Iloilo is the #1 serving team in our league so far. Back to the open. That was Magsino. Ball up. Ooh, Toto De Pedro down the line.
It's a good placement of the attack on the opposite with De Pedro. He actually scored 6 points during their last game against PGJC Navy.
You know, Paneng, the expectations for De Pedro were also high, no, coming into this conference because he played very well in the Champions League.
Well, so far naman maganda yung nilalaro nitong ni De Pedro, and he's actually part of the top 10 ng best receivers for this conference.
And De Pedro is #5 in scoring for his team. It's now 7 serving 6. By the way, I apologize. That's Gab Magsino. Earlier, I was pertaining to Yoyong Mendoza, who is the open attacker for Santa Rosa. Now it is Cortez scoring the point off of the block.
Yeah, Cortez is also one of the top 2 players or attackers for the Navigators Iloilo. Mataas yung percentage na whenever he goes for the open attack. He scored 13 points during their last game against PGJC Navy.
And Cortez is their second leading scorer, just behind Jade Desquitado with a 41% attack efficiency. Bawi naman agad itong Santa Rosa.
Isahan lang tayo for this set.
And that will send us to our first technical timeout. Only a 1-point lead in favor of Santa Rosa.
Migs and Paneng, I got to talk to the head coach of the Navigators Iloilo, and he told me that with the vigorous training system that they have, he is in high hopes na talagang makuha sila sa national team. I asked Coach John actually, ano yung future plans ng the Navigators? At sinabi niyang sanay sila lahat mag one-day league around Bacolod. That is how this team actually came to be. Star players sila ng iba't ibang liga around Iloilo. At ngayon, they are training vigorously and also gelling well because of their same communication and language. Let's go back to set 1.
That's a great report. Thank you, Alexis. You think this could be the all-star team of Iloilo dun sa mga one-day leagues nila?
Well, pwede, because like what Coach John said, na these are the top players during sa mga one-day league nila in Bacolod and Iloilo. So talagang kinuha nila yung best of the best para makasama dito sa ating Spikers Turf for this conference.
At may ibang sense of pride din talaga, no? When you're representing your town, your city. Jay Disquitado from the back. That was just low. How about the start by Santa Rosa?
Yes, maganda yung teamwork nila during the start of this game. And talagang everyone's contributing and even celebrating every time they score a point.
Gotta love that body language. Oh! Natulungan pa ng net si Jericho Adahar.
Yeah, he actually had 2 service aces nung kanilang previous game.
Mga ganyang moment talaga, no? Wala ka na magagawa.
Oo.
Just happens.
Apolinario was actually there, but hinaantay niya receive ng teammate niya, pero hindi na lang niya napansin na tumama sa net.
They tried to go to the slide once again. But an overcooked there mula kay Nursidik. And that will prompt a timeout from Coach John Panes. Nasisinin.
Porsyento mo na. Puro bigay isa-isa. Saan mo na?
Dulo mo lang.
Kapit mo na tayo. Okay? Ulit. Adjust na lang ulit. Kuha. Balik tayo. Okay? Kailangan natin bumalik. Okay? Ha? Aggressive pa.
Yung yung puntos nila, galing lang sa natin. So, dadaanin lang natin. Make sure na lahat ng papaluin natin sa gagalawin natin, malinis. Sige. Akin ang sarap ng zero rin.
Go! Pag nakaset.
Well, I hope you guys heard that from Jerome Cordes. Yung puntos nila ng Santa Rosa, marami nang galing sa errors ng The Navigators of Iloilo. What's interesting about it is that we knew all along that Paneng was gonna point it out at some point. Pero naunaan na siya ni Adahar.
Oo, dahil at least alam nila kung saan sila nagkukulang. So it's now time for them on how to adjust quickly para makadikit dito sa puntos ng Santa Rosa. Because as much as possible, you have to force your opponents to make mistakes, not your team na magbibigay ng libreng puntos sa inyong mga kalaban.
And how about Cortez answering to the call of Iloilo? He was the one who was responsible for that quote na nanggagaling na sa errors ang mga puntos ng Santa Rosa. At ngayon, error naman si Harvey Quezada as he hit the net.
Yeah, coming off from that timeout ni Coach John Panes, nakakuha sila ng 2 consecutive points. Ngayon, they only need 2 points para makadikit dito sa puntos sa Santa Rosa.
Cortez now serving. Ball up by Yoyong Mendoza. Adahar had to chase that.
Oh,
what a
good
hammer.
defense.
There's that digging. That floor defense na pinuna mo kay Toto De Pedro. Pero si Axel will make that Bakil who will score for Santa Rosa.
That was a good drop ball by Bakil. Take a look at this. Good first ball. Ganda ng pasok niya on the quick, leaving only 1 blocker in front of him.
Now, Andri Bakil will be serving for Santa Rosa. 13 to 10 our score. It's very energetic first set. The quick. On the other end, that's gonna work for Nursidik.
Parang same lang din yung ginawa ni Nursidik on the quick drop ball. Sometimes hindi mo na kailangan paluin na malakas eh. As long as you have a good placement on your attack, magpa-drop ball man yan or strong spike, you will still be able to convert it into a point.
Unfortunately, the service error from Nursidik now.
That's already the 4th service error for Iloilo. So that apat na libreng puntos na yon na binigay nila sa Santa Rosa on the service area alone.
Now it's Quezada putting it in. Apolinario. Ooh, Disquitado. That did not go through, but looks like there was a net touch.
Yeah, I think there was a net touch called on Magsino.
Will there be a challenge here? Looks like that's going to be the first challenge of our matchup. Santa Rosa will challenge that. Well, as you saw the faces of the Santa Rosa City Lions.
Gulat sila.
Oo.
Sila parang hindi sila aware na may nakakommit ng net violation sa kanila.
And it's usually one of two things, no? There could either be a violent reaction from the players or a very innocent reaction like that. Na parang, ref? Parang di naman.
Kaya naman napatawag nitong challenge, block touch challenge, itong coach ng Santa Rosa na si Coach Ed Lirio.
But again, what a start for them. They are looking for their 4th straight victory in our open conference. As you said, this is a must-win if they even want to try to contend for that semi-final slots. And then as for Iloilo, they're still undefeated. They're looking to stay undefeated. Mukhang may touch ba? Wala.
Parang wala.
Ayun.
Yeah, that was a good challenge by Santa Rosa. So that's a kill block for Santa Rosa City Lions and the point will go to them. Now they're up by 3 points, 14 versus 11 nitong The Navigators Iloilo.
Well, the net was definitely moving, but that's because of the strong attack of Disquitado that hit the net itself.
That's right.
At malakas talaga yung palo ni Jade, no?
Malakas palo ni Jade. Front line, back line, or even the service area, kargada din yung kanyang top spin serve.
15, serving 11 now, Harvey Quezada. Oh, that's out. This time the service area comes from Santa Rosa. I don't know if you remember it, Paneng, but the last game we covered,
Meron kang trivia kay Quesada.
yeah, meron din. Mamaya, babalikan natin yung trivia na yan. But I would like to remind you, Paneng, the last game we covered together, there were 40 service errors.
Oh, that was a lot.
Ang dami nun.
Oo.
Now, as we say that, we see another service error that will send us to the second technical timeout. Back inside the Paco Arena in Manila, Santa Rosa City looking very good at the start of this matchup. They lead at 16-12 after our second technical timeout. We mentioned they're looking for their 4th straight victory. That's coming after their 4 losses to start their conference. And then for Iloilo, they are currently 5-0. Their last game was a 5-setter against Navy. We did miss this squad for a bit because of the national team responsibilities of these players. And we also miss Santa Rosa because as you mentioned, Paneng, tagal na nung last game nila.
Oo. Feb 24 pa. So that's more than a week, definitely.
Right. But it seems like they're still in good shape.
Oo. Maganda naman itong start nila coming into this game.
Ano ba usually yung ginagawa ng isang team kapag may ganong delay sa inyong schedule?
Definitely tuloy-tuloy yung training. And sometimes nag-i-invite yung mga coaches na mga tune-up games para magkaroon ng practice sa mga game situations. And minsan, sinasabihan din yung mga opponents or yung mga in-invite na makakalaban for a tune-up game. Nadadagdagan yung puntos para hahabol lang kayo yung team mo.
Situational,
Oo,
no?
situational.
Oh, okay. So, remember the challenge a while ago of the net touch? Walang hawak sa net.
Yeah.
So, the ruling should be, as they mentioned, the play will be done again. I-replay natin yung puntos na yun. Walang ibibigay na 1 point sa Santa Rosa.
Oh, okay. So parang it was a dead ball. Parang ganon.
Everybody's stunned with this call. That's why there's a bit of a delay. But as you can notice, that's how important a single point is, especially to a matchup like this, where we have two red-hot teams competing against each other.
And dikit lang actually yung puntos natin for this set. 3 points lang ang lamang nitong Santa Rosa.
Nabawasan yung 4 eh.
Oo.
Tatlo na lang.
Nag-technical timeout na tayo kanina, but now we're back at 15.
So, does that mean that we're gonna have another technical timeout?
I'm not sure about that. We'll
Kasi
see.
kung pupuntos ng 16 ulit. All right. Santa Rosa having some words with our officials just to clear out what's gonna happen here.
Sa mga ganitong situations, usually dapat yung coach lang and yung team captain yung nag-uusap, and yung team captain lang yung kakausap sa mga referees, tapos yung mga players mag-usap-usap kayo as a team. Tuloy niyo yung game plan nyo.
Right.
Huwag niyong hayaan na mawala yung intensity nyo sa court. Kasi
Oh, that's a good point, no? Kasi this could be a momentum breaker.
yes,
A delay like this.
dahil kanina nagsuserve si Quesada, pero service error yun sa kanya. But ngayon, ang tagal na nung break natin.
So I think that gives us the time to give out the fun fact about Harvey Quesada.
Okay.
Who you can see on your screens right now. We just enjoyed this fact the last game, so why don't we tell it again? Harvey Quesada apparently is a model as well. So he's not just a volleyball player, and he was recently crowned as Ginoong Santa Rosa. How about that? Tapos ngayon, captain na siya ng Santa
Captain
Rosa
ng Santa
City
Rosa.
Lions.
That's right.
You know, sometimes diba it happens na may mga rampa sa mga celebrations sa volleyball.
Oo.
I'm not sure if he's gonna do that.
I don't think he will.
Yeah, he's not the type to do it, no?
Every time he scores a point, tumatakbo siya around the court celebrating, right? And talagang hinahatak niya yung moral ng mga teammates na pataas.
Right. Well, that's what a captain does. Oh, we're still having that delay at this point, no? Clearing things out with our officials.
Oo.
Now, it's Coach Edward Lirio telling his team, go back. Ako na bahala dito.
Usap kayo. Parang tuloy lang sa game plan.
Pero natuyuan na nga rin ng pawis, no? Yung mga players natin. That's again, could be a point for a change in momentum here. Well, folks, if you are catching the action right now, we would like to invite you as well to come into the Paco Arena, catch the action live. Bakit nga naman hindi? We do have two very hot teams in our Spikers Turf Open Conference. They're playing very well. They're very energetic. These are two of the youngest as well that we are featuring. It could be a great first time for you to witness national level of talent we're now featuring on TV. And you have to be happy, no, that men's volleyball has expanded like this.
Actually, every year we have this conference, and we're seeing a lot of talent. Not just in Metro Manila, but all, ito,
diba,
the Navigators,
ngayon.
Iloilo, then Laguna.
Yeah, we're still waiting for the whistle here, the first referee. All right, so we'll take a short break. We'll be back to continue with Iloilo and Santa Rosa.
Serving is Axel Ball.
All right, we're back. Just like that, 15 serving 12, and now A service error comes in. Ito na yung sinasabi mo. Could be a change in momentum. And the lead is down to 2.
Yes, kanina ang laki ng lamang nitong Santa Rosa not until dumidikit itong Iloilo. And because of that service error, dalawa na lang ang puntos na lamang nitong Santa Rosa. And now Jade Disquitado is a strong server
Just like
to
that.
the service area.
Ooh, great quick attack. That was by Magsino from Adahar.
That was a good connection and the quick attack.
So are we gonna have a technical timeout again? Because they're up to 16. Mukhang wala na.
Wala na. Tuloy-tuloy na itong game natin.
Okay. Gab Magsino now serving up by 3. Representing Santa Rosa. Straight to the libero. Apolinario opens up. Ooh, no overcook. That was by Cortez.
Yeah, parang may halong gigil doon si Cortez. Ang nakita niya, ang laki ng opening niya on the cross court. Si Adahar lang yung blocker niya down the line, but he hit that open attack.
Ano yun pa rin? Timing ng palo?
Timing ng palo ng contact mo sa bola.
Oh,
Masyado napaaga yung palo mo.
definitely way off. Yoyong Mendoza. And that hit right on time to score another point.
That is a big lead na by Santa Rosa. 5 big points.
You gotta give credit to these young men keeping their composure even though they lost that point right after the huge delay. Now they score back to back. To back. Toto De Pedro kept alive.
Oh, good cover.
Chance here. Jade. JM. Toto. Yes.
Yeah, good cross-court attack by De Pedro. Kita na depensahan siya no kanyang down the line. But this time, open naman yung kanyang cross-court. Talagang iniwas niya doon sa block.
That's Guaza with a service ace. How about that? It's also interesting because Guaza is a middle blocker. He's not necessarily a very tall middle blocker, but he is blocking very well, right? In this conference so far. Number 8
Yes,
in our league.
And actually, he's one of the top scorers for Iloilo. He scored 14 points nung kanyang previous game against Navy.
Unfortunately now, he gives us a service error. So that's been piling up.
Yeah, so far, itong si Iloilo meron ng 6 service errors just for this set.
Santa Rosa has 3 of their
3.
own. So that's 9 already. Now to the open. Cortez looking to bounce back. It's kept alive by Mendoza. Back row. Oh, ganda ng basa doon.
Hindi yun nakita ni Cortez.
Great read by Henry Bakil. Now that forces a substitution for Iloilo. Oh, sorry, that's Axel Book getting the point from the back. Balik tayo kay Yoyong Mendoza, one of the young studs that we have in the Spikers turf. Last year sa BNS naglaro yan. So, in a way, siya yung pumalit kay JD Disquitado as a young stud who's a great attacker playing for Santa Rosa. Speaking of great attackers, Toto De Pedro with another point.
That's actually a nice out-of-system play by the Navigators Iloilo. That was a misreception by Jade Disquitado na hinabol lang ni Apolinario. And sakto naman na ready si De Pedro for that attack. Placement lang on the zone sa zone 1. Easy point for Iloilo.
Santa Rosa though is quick to respond.
Yeah. Every time na nagkakakuha sila ng errors, itong Santa Rosa, nakakabawi sila kaagad on the serve-receive play.
And that's Henry Bakil scoring now. Adahar. Ooh, another service error. That puts it up to 10 in total now for both of our teams.
That's the 4th service error nitong Santa Rosa City Lions.
Navigators down by 4. 17 serving 21.
A good first ball.
See the approach. Kita mo no? Palapit pa lang sila. Pupuntos na sila eh. Well, as you analysts say, it all starts with the first pass.
Yes, once you have a good first ball, sakto sa yung setter, talaga ma-activate niya lahat ng mga spikers mo and your opponents will be confused kung kanino niya isi-set.
You know, there was actually a narrative at the start of this conference that Adahar was still trying to figure out the type of sets that his teammates wanted. But do you think it's much better now?
Yeah, definitely. Andito na tayo sa kalagitnaan ng ating conference and mas nagagamay na or nakikilala na ni Adahar yung kanyang mga spikers. Alam na niya kung saan yung comfortable set na kailangan niyang ibigay sa kanila para makapalo na mas maayos.
The timeline, the storyline of Santa Rosa makes sense after losing their 4 first games, no? After that, 3 straight wins. Now a challenge. Ball in or out on that attack by a red shirt. They did celebrate as if they got the point.
But actually, that's a close call, no? Dahil di natin alam kung malayo ba sa dulo.
Ooh, that's out.
Yeah, that was outside.
So that's their first unsuccessful challenge.
But they still have 1 for this set. And now they only need 3 points to close this set.
It's Rash Nursudik who will send that ball in. Iloilo looking to stay undefeated. Ball straight to the libero. Combination works for Santa Rosa.
Yeah, you have to give credit again to the good receive of Centeno, the libero of the Santa Rosa City Lions.
Again, he's not the usual libero for Santa Rosa. It's usually Kiambao and De Feria.
But he's playing well sa kanyang new role.
De Pedro on the first ball. Apolinario sends it to Jay. And Disquitado will answer back. You think it's Jay time?
Well, we'll need more of that from Jay Disquitado.
He did things like this in the 5th set. As you mentioned in the previous
game.
Right now, they are feeling the sense of urgency. Down by a couple of points in set number 1. Ooh, that was not rejected properly.
That was Maxino again in the quick attack. Actually, nakuha niya yung, nakita na natin yan 3 times. Na yung quick drop ball niya in the middle. Worked well for their squad. Easy point there for Maxino.
5 set points now. Misreceived. Jade will set things up for De Pedro. Mendoza gives it back to Quezada. Ball up. JM back sets. Oh, that did not go through. And Santa Rosa with a spectacular start here, taking set number 1 against the currently undefeated Team Navigators of Iloilo. Can Santa Rosa get their 4th straight win? We'll find out. They are up 1 set to none. Santa Rosa taking set number 1 versus the D Navigators of Iloilo with a score of 25-19. So I ask you this, Paneng. Is it a matter of Santa Rosa upping up their level of play, or are you seeing a bit of a downfall here for Iloilo?
Well, definitely itong si Santa Rosa really started this game better than Iloilo. All throughout the set, na-maintain nila yung intensity nila, and then yung bawi every time na nagkakaroon sila na error. But on the side naman of the Navigators sa Iloilo, parang hindi sila nakalamang on that set. Palaging sila yung naghahabol sa puntos nitong Santa Rosa. And if you talk about their teamwork, itong the Navigators Iloilo, hindi siya ganun ka-solid compared to the Santa Rosa City Lions. Quite uncharacteristic for the Navigators Iloilo, especially na undefeated pa sila for this conference. And now if you look at the numbers, look at that, ang errors nitong si the Navigators Iloilo, they had 10 errors versus 6 lang nitong Santa Rosa. But most of that, like 6 points of that 10 came from the service area alone. So hindi siya enough para mapanalo yung set na yon, or even makadikit sa puntos nitong Santa Rosa City Lions. And I think what the Navigators Iloilo need for this second set is to have a better teamwork and communication para mapakita nila yung totoong laro na kaya nilang ipakita. But ito namang Santa Rosa, tuloy lang nila yung kanilang momentum and kanilang level of play. They might give or hand the first loss dito kay Iloilo.
Well, for Iloilo, number 1, they are aware at least about their errors because their team captain himself, Jerome Cordes, pointed it out during the timeout. And second of all, and you kind of glimpsed on this a while ago, we did see already before the high level of play from Iloilo.
Oo.
So it should be not that hard to put it back. But Santa Rosa with the block to open up set 2.
Yeah, that was one-on-one block by Adahar on the open attack by Disquitado.
And we should remind everybody what Alexis reported about in the pregame. This is Disquitado's former team. That means they also know how Jade plays.
Yes, alam nila kung ano yung pwesto niya every time he goes for the attack. And kanina pa no first set, palagi nilang na-check dito sa Disquitado.
It was after that first point, no, that it seems like Jade never got his momentum.
Oo. Unlike ng mga previous games nila, maganda yung pinapakita ni Jade Disquitado sa start pa lang ng game, all throughout the end of that game. Pero coming into this game, palagi siya na-check nitong Santa Rosa.
What happened here?
I think there was a challenge. Foot fault in the middle.
Yeah, it was Adahar who was initially called for that cross. Sorry, make that Cordes. But let's see what the call is going to be here. We have another challenge. Saw a couple of these in the first set, but from Santa Rosa's side. Now it's going to be Iloilo who's doing the challenge. There's Jay Disquitado.
Alam niya na nakafocus sa sa kanya.
Di ba gesture ng Lion yun? Ano na siya navigator na siya Oh, there's a foot fault.
Yeah.
So it's on...
I think that's Guaza.
Yeah, it's Guaza.
That's Guaza in the middle.
So iba pala yung tinutukoy dito. It's Guaza, and that's obviously a violation against him. So that's a point on Santa Rosa. All right. 2-love. Served by Mendoza. Back set here. Cortez is kept alive. Adahar. Quezada rejected. That's a point for the White Shirts.
Yeah, medyo nagulat din dun si Adahar. Nasakto sa kanya yung bola, pero hindi siya ready for that coverage. Take a look at this.
Oh, that is what Guaza has been doing all conference long. Number 8 in the league in terms of best blockers. Another service error. How many did they have in set 1? 6, no?
They had 6, yes.
And sometimes the timing really hurts the most. After they scored a point, they give up that easy one. Adahar serving with 7 excellent sets. Quick. It's too high, too long for Guaza.
Yeah, there was no touch on the block of Bakil.
See the disparity in body language here.
Yeah, parang yung teamwork nitong Iloilo hindi masyadong intact for this game.
Then the net defense is intact for Santa Rosa.
And the teamwork and the way they play is really working well for Santa Rosa City Lions. We're seeing a lot of kill blocks for this set.
Now, you've covered a lot of games for Santa Rosa. Do you think they're in their best shape so far?
Well, like what you mentioned, yung first 4 games nila, talo sila. Pero yung 3 games nila, sunod-sunod naman na panalo. So, it's safe to say na they're really improving. Nitong patapos na nitong conference, dahil nasa kalagitnaan na nga tayo, pero mas nagiging maganda yung nagiging teamwork nila and the way they play.
They won itong Santa Rosa against Vanguard, Air Force, and Army. If they would win today, this would be their biggest victory.
That's right.
Combination. Quezada's rejected.
That was a triple block. Led by Guaza in the middle.
Now can that spark the D-Navigators here? Something that they really needed. It's definitely on Guaza. 3 serving 5 in set 2. Isquitado. Fresh off the national team, straight to the libero. The save by Adahar.
But
Wow!
that was a good play by Santa Rosa. You have to give credit again sa magandang first ball nitong ni Centeno. Sakto lang kay Adahar. Naagaw pa niya yon with one-handed set in the middle. It was good quick attack by Bakil.
The chemistry of the red shirts really looking good here.
That's right. Oh, that was clearly an overreach violation in Maxino. Umami naman siya agad sa kanyang coaches.
Napilo mo yung excitement nila na
Oo.
score na sana kami kasi lang may error pala. Alright, 4 serving 6. That's Guaza. Oh, that's off to the right. Service error number 11, right? Oh, no.
Since the start of this set, start of this game, but we'll double check kung nakailang service errors na itong both squads.
Apolinario, back set. De Pedro, ball up.
Whoa!
Try to go
Quick.
to the one to layo nun, ha?
Layo nga.
Ball sent back. That net defense is coming alive for Iloilo. Yoyong Mendoza. Great effort by the libero. Just wasn't able to get to it properly.
Yan, ang ganda ng open attack na yon ni Yoyong Mendoza. Ang layo niya sa net. Pero last minute, in-adjust niya yung speed and direction ng kanyang attack. Take a look at this. Good hang time on Mendoza.
We have a timeout. We'll be back.
Paneng and Mix, I wanted to share to you that Santa Rosa City Lions assistant coach Carl told me that this might probably be their 4th straight win at dahil sa kanilang streak, nakarami na raw silang tune-up games to regroup against Iloilo. A player to keep in mind, Yoyong Mendoza, a former Griffin na habang nagdo-double digit siya dito sa Spikers Turf, he's also doing his graduating thesis project and internship because it's his last sem in grade 12. Truly, there's so much potential for the youth. Let's go back to set 2.
Our jaws literally dropped when Alexis said, grade 12 pala si Yoyong Mendoza. As you get to see a point there for Iloilo. Well, it makes sense because he is one of the youngest. grade 12, Paneng. How about that? Not even in college. And Mendoza scores right on cue. If you would hear thesis, internship, usually college na yun eh.
Oo, pero ngayon meron na tayo
Meron na
dyan sa grade 12.
So, hindi anong course ang itatanong kay Mendoza. Anong strand? Yun ang tanong mo.
Pero grabe, ang daming pinagsasabay-sabay nito ni Yoyong Mendoza. And he's playing really well for their squad.
Point here for Jerome Cortez. Badly needed by Iloilo. You have the numbers for their attack efficiency, Paneng?
Yeah, itong si Santa Rosa actually 13 excellent attack versus 21, over 21. So that's 62% attack efficiency.
It's really high.
Yeah.
And then for Iloilo,
That's 12 on 29. So 41% lang itong attack efficiency ng Iloilo.
so mas mababa
Medyo
na.
malayo
Oo,
sa Santa
malayo.
Rosa.
Tapos, mas marami pa silang error.
Mas madami pa.
That's why it's a 4-point lead right now for Santa Rosa. Mr. C by De Pedro. Very uncharacteristic. Ball up. Great first pass by Axel Bok. And that leads into a Mendoza point again.
Yan, nakita na ni Adahar itong mga blockers ni Yoyong Mendoza in the open. It's actually Apolinario na he's actually not that tall for the block and down the line. But usually, doon iniipit ni Adahar yung kanyang plays.
We also have to specify the height difference in this matchup. As you can see, these are lengthier players for Santa Rosa.
Oo. Their setter, si Adahar, 6'1".
Even the others. Mendoza is pretty tall. Bok is tall and Bakil. Here's Yoyong. Great save by
That was De
De
Pedro.
Pedro. And it is Jay Disquitado who will make that save all worth it.
Yeah, they have to work double time in their defense. Dahil to si Adahar, iniipit niya lahat ng kanyang mga plays on the left side.
Great swing by Jay Disquitado, fresh off of his stint training with the national team. It's another service error.
That was the first service. That was the third service error for Iloilo.
But that's only in this set. Remember,
Yeah.
they had 6 in set number 1.
That's right.
So you have a total of 13 service errors. 9 of them are coming from Iloilo. Now it's Mendoza serving. They're up by 4. Ooh!
That's the second service error ng Santa Rosa. They're only up by 3 points. Nakakapagbigay na sila ng 2 libre putos dito sa Iloilo.
It is 9 serving 12. First ball, Yoyong. They go to the quick again. Kanina pa gumagana yan.
Oo. Hindi nakaka-adjust sa blocking hanggang ngayon itong Navigators Iloilo.
Why do you think this has been working for Santa Rosa? Do you think the height difference is also beneficial in that case?
I don't think it's the height difference because magkakalapit lang naman sila sa height nila. I mean, yung average height ng both teams. I think it's more on the
The quickness.
plays na kahit ang layo ng defense on receive nitong Iloilo, nitong Santa Rosa, pinipilit ni Adahar na papasukin yung kanyang mga middle attackers at ibigay pa rin niya sa kanya.
Great attack right there. Kept alive by Iloilo. Then Pedro.
A good
That
cover.
defense is right up there. And the coverage as well. See the movement from these players. Very active today. And it is Toto De Pedro who puts it away.
Good defense that we've seen from both squads. And now itong net defense ng Santa Rosa. Ang dami nilang nabablock, ang dami na-check. But naka-adjust naman itong sa coverage. Itong Navigators Iloilo. Mas humahaba yung rallies natin for this set.
Disquitado serving. Onto the quick again. Oh, ganda ng hanap ni Bakil.
That was a good drop ball. Sakto na sa gilid ng blockers. And again, that was a good first ball from Centeno.
Isn't it that when you activate your middles like Henry Bakil, it opens up the wingers, making it easier for them to attack?
Yeah, definitely. Kasi pag maganda yung pasok ng middle attackers mo, and kanina pa ginagawa ni Adahar na kahit ang layo ng defense or good pass, talagang consistent yung pasok ng kanyang mga middle attackers. Kaya naman yung blockers nitong Iloilo, nahihirapan sila kung sino yung babantayan nila. That's why we've seen a lot of single blockers on the wing spikers and opposite nitong Santa Rosa.
Santa Rosa will be looking for a net touch here. After that strong hit by Harvey Casada that went well overboard. It's now 14-11 in set number 2. You did mention Iloilo needing to chase Santa Rosa since the start of this match. And that story continues.
Sila pa rin yung naghahabol sa puntos nitong Santa Rosa into this set.
Why don't we talk about Adahar's setting so far and Apolinario?
So far, itong matchup ng setters for this game, si Adahar already has 13 excellent sets and 2 points.
That matches his previous game output, right, of excellent sets. He had 13.
13, but nasa second set pa lang tayo.
Oh.
So madadagdagan pa to. And si Apolinario naman, on the other hand, setter for the Navigators Iloilo, he already has 6 excellent sets.
Remember, Apolinario coming into this matchup was the #1 setter.
Yes.
So this is definitely a statement by Adahar.
Actually, if you look at the statistics, magkasunod lang sila.
Ayun,
Ni
1 and 2.
Apolinario is the first, actually, best setter for this conference so far. And second lang si Adahar.
Minsan ba nakaka-motivate talaga kung makita mo yung mga statistics na ganyan? You're behind this player, you'd want to, overtake.
I think it depends on the player if you look at your statistics or tinitignan mo na lang how you play or kung ano yung sinasabi ng coaches sa'yo, ng mga teammates mo, kung paano ka mag-i-improve. There are some players na hindi na tumitingin sa numbers eh. As long as I play well and I
okay
play
ka na.
better sa next game, okay na yun. Everyday nag-i-improve, okay na yun.
Could you give us a rough percentage? Like, ilang porsyento ng mga manlalaro yung tumitingin sa stats?
That I don't know.
Okay, sige. That's the best answer. All right, let's see this challenge. Net touch, meron ba? We're looking at Iloilo here. If a white shirt touched the net. Ooh! People reacting inside the Paco Arena. There's no net touch, so that's in favor of Iloilo.
Santa Rosa, that challenge is unsuccessful. So nabawasan na sila ng isa. They only have 1 challenge left for this set.
And it's a 2-point game. That's the thing. Iloilo, they've been down, but it's always been arm's length for them. Ooh. What happened here?
Sumenyas itong line judge. I'm not sure if it hit the antenna.
Which is very uncommon. That's why the whole Iloilo team stopped in that play. Oh, a rotation error for Santa Rosa. And now they're stunned. Because this could potentially make it a 1-point game.
I'm not sure if it was a rotational error or may nag-overlap sa position nitong receive formation ng Santa Rosa. But the point goes to the Navigators Iloilo. Isa na lang ang lamang nitong City Lions.
Nandyan lang, no? Kaya-kayang itabla at lumamang. As we know in sports, a quick change of momentum can change the outcome of the game. And you can never count out an undefeated team so far. Okay, 13, serving 14 in set number 2. First ball to Yoyong. Magsino setting up their captain. The off-speed. Oh, De Pedro. Was that a miscue?
It was definitely a miscue dahil nagkatinginan lang doon si Nur Siddiq and De Pedro on who will get the first ball. We take a look at this. Everyone saw na it was a drop ball or na touch na yun ni Nur Siddiq. Napabagal na niya yung attack ni Quesada.
That puts the lead back to 2.
Oh, the
It's
ball
still
is still
alive.
alive.
Great effort by Santa Rosa. Opposite, Toto De Pedro. He looks to really like that angle, no?
Oo, talagang cross-court yung kanyang strong attack.
And it's also not the conventional hit that we see from attackers. Parang tagilid yung katawan niya eh.
Nakaharap siya sa down the line, tapos papaluin niya sa cross-court.
Mendoza, sent back. Adahar goes back to Yoyong. Down the line, that is in.
That is inside.
And that will send us to the second technical timeout, 16-14. Jericho Adahar trusting his wing spiker. Yoyong Mendoza still in grade 12, but playing in the spiker's turf, playing very well. Back here inside the Paco Arena in Manila for your Spikers Turf 2023 Open Conference. This is Mix Gomez at your service alongside Paneng Mercado de Conix Suarter and Alexis Tinsay. It is currently 16 serving 14 in set number 2. Santa Rosa up 1 set to love and 2 set and make that 2 points as well. The advantage here in set 2 as they get a rejection here.
Blocking is really working for Santa Rosa City Lions. Nababasa nila itong mga sets ni Apolinario. Kahit na hinihiwalay niya yung kanyang mga attackers, may magsaslide and merong open attack, nakakadikit pa rin itong blocking ng City Lions.
Pauwi dito, team captain ng Iloilo na si Jerome Cordez. Cordez, we mentioned, is their second leading scorer. Coming into this matchup, he was 14 points behind of Jay Disquitado with a 41% attack efficiency. First ball, Quezada. Adahar gives it back to Yoyong. Great coverage. Yoyong again. But Pedro was there. Battle at the net.
Oh, that was clearly an overreach violation of Mendoza.
You see the stare of Apolinario.
Oo.
May paton pa afterwards.
Kasi ang ganda ng pwesto niya to go for the set. Pero nanggigil doon si Yoyong Mendoza.
Ayun. Balik kay Yoyong. Makakabawi ba?
Yeah,
That's
there
a
was
point.
a check.
Lead is back to 2 for Santa Rosa. Off of that check ball, we have a sub here. Kamagan will come in. Kamagan wasn't actually in the lineup in the previous matchup. Joshua Kamagan. Ball in, straight to De Pedro. Mula sa likod, Cordez. Book was there, and here's Mendoza. Ball sent back. The chase by Adahar. Yoyong! Great block.
Good one block there by Norsidic. Ngayon, na-check na nila si Mendoza whenever he goes for the open attack. Diyan nakakuha madaming puntos itong Santa Rosa and even si Mendoza.
Lead is cut down to 1. Norsidic will now serve. Oh! We've been talking about service errors all match long.
That was the third for that was the fourth for Iloilo.
That puts them up to 10 in total. Service errors for Iloilo in this matchup. As Manning mentioned, 4 in this set. And the timing as well, really hurting Iloilo. Response on the first ball. Polinario, Disquitado's turn!
That was outside. There was no block touch. Kita mo yung gigil na doon ni Disquitado. Ang lakas ng palo niya, but it was just overcooked down the line.
Could have been a great opportunity for Jay to score. Build the momentum for his own. 20, serving 17. Santa Rosa looking to go up 2-0. Back set. Cortez with the pipe. Naibalik. Oh! Somehow that works for Piojo.
Miscommunication there by De Feria and Mendoza. Nagkagulatan na lang sila, biglang bumagsak yung bola.
See the reactions from both of them. Lead cut down to 2. Apolinario. Yoyong gets the first ball. Adahar opens up. Quezada on the cross.
What an angle on the open attack by Quesada. Now they're up by 3 points.
That's one thing for them, no, in this match. They give up a point, but they easily answer back.
Oo, hindi nila pinapatagal or pinapadami yung errors nila.
Strong serve right there by Adahar. And the running hit mula kay De Pedro doesn't work.
Yeah, that running hit is too soft for the blockers. Itong Santa Rosa City Lions. Nabantayan nila na maayos yung attack na yon ni De Pedro.
Easy block right there for Axel Bok. 22-18, timeout.
Porsyento tayo sa magandang receive muna. Receive. Atake tayo sa receive.
Sige, paluin mo. Huwag mo na.
Hindi mo, hindi tayo makaplay. Walang play. Hindi tayo puro 2-man block. Kasi yung... paano nakalock na siya kayo? Hindi na nga, wala nga tayo receive. Nakalock na. Wala ka hindi na ano. Okay, ulit.
Apat lang yan, isa-isa.
So it's the first ball.
Now they have to have a good first ball para ma-execute nila yung play nila.
Ironically, Santa Rosa is one of the worst teams in terms of receiving. But right now, they're doing better than Iloilo as Disquitado scores.
Yeah, we saw a lot of good first balls from Santa Rosa. But ang medyo shaky na receive is itong ang Iloilo.
They definitely needed that one. They trimmed the lead down to 3. 19 serving 22. Jay Disquitado against his former team. Axel on the first ball. Looking comfortable on the receive. Quezada placement. Kept alive. Apolinario. Open. Cortez was rejected. JM. This time to the middle.
A good connection in the middle attack there by Apolinario and Piojo.
Now he came off the bench.
Right,
That's 2
replacing
points now for
Guaza.
him. Pasok naman dito. We have Kevin Montemayor, who's also established himself as one of the good spikers that we have in this conference. Service error again. That makes it 5 now for Iloilo in this set. (23) serving 20. Santa Rosa still with the lead. Here's Andre Bakil. He'll send that ball in. Ball up by Jade. Chased by Apolinario. Cortez deflected. Adahar looks. Back set. It's close for Montemayor.
Oh, there was a net touch called on Montemayor. I think that set from Adahar is too low and too near the net for Montemayor.
A timeout ng Santa Rosa. Take a look at it. This is the first attack of Montemayor in this matchup. It's unfortunate on that setup.
Pwede tayo mag-set up. Okay. Pero ang una nating option, pag kayang ibigay sa gitna, bigay natin, lalo pag maganda.
Yes,
Okay? Tingnan, may peripheral vision naman. Nakikita mo naman tatalon o hindi. Nakuha? Ayos tayo.
You know, Paneng, it's been a while since we've seen a hit from the middle for Santa Rosa. Kanina, marami yun no?
Oo. Pwedeng nag-iba itong game plan ni Adahar dahil nung first set talagang pinagana yung kanyang quickers. So, as expected na mababantayan yon ng yung opponents dahil alam na nila na yun na yung play mo eh. So, coming to this second set, medyo napadami naman itong mga open and opposite attack for Santa Rosa.
And that is what Kevin Montemayor can do for you. From the opposite, scoring off of the blocker. Checking it out and giving his team 3 set points. The Bedista sending that ball in. Apolinario, open, Cortez, deflected. Adahar, Mendoza, no more recovery. And now it's 2 sets to none. Santa Rosa City looking very good here as they got for their 4th straight victory. What a performance.
Yeah, that was a good start for Santa Rosa City Lions. Definitely, they were able to sustain their momentum and stick to their game plan, handing the second set loss to the Navigators Iloilo. And now they're 2 sets up to none for this game.
Two sets to none in favor of Santa Rosa. Alexis mentioned in her report that one of their assistant coaches has really high confidence that they're going to get their 4th victory today, and they are certainly living up to it. So, can you differentiate the way you were impressed with Santa Rosa in set 1 and set number 2?
Well, definitely, ang maganda dito is nagtuloy-tuloy itong magandang game plan, teamwork, and communication ng Santa Rosa City Lions. Though dumidikit sa puntos itong The Navigators sa Iloilo, pero hindi natin sila nakitaan ng pressure. Tuloy-tuloy lang silang nakakabawi every time they commit an error. And they were forcing The Navigators Iloilo to commit errors sa side nila. Hindi sila yung nagbibigay mismo ng libreng puntos dito para sa kanilang koponan. But same pa din for the side of The Navigators Iloilo, yung teamwork pa rin nila and yung communication, yung nagkulang. So now we're looking at the numbers. Santa Rosa dominated the attacks in 13 versus 10 ng Iloilo. Blocks, we saw a lot of kill blocks for that set with Santa Rosa got 4 and 3 lang na The Navigators Iloilo. No service aces for both squad. And yung errors, pantay lang sila ang 8 points, but si Iloilo, nabawasan naman yung kanilang errors comparing to first set. But in the end, mas maganda pa rin itong consistency na pinakita ng Santa Rosa City Lions to close that set.
It also hurts the timing of the errors of Iloilo, no? When they score a point, they give up an error.
Oo, palaging may kasunod.
And now, Santa Rosa continuing with their momentum. They get first point again. This team looks really rejuvenated.
That was the 3rd point by Adahar.
Jericho. Ball up. There's a slide. Same as the first point of this matchup for the D Navigators of Iloilo. Norsidic will score.
Yeah, so far, Nersidic already has 4 points for this game.
Cortez now serving. Centeno on the first ball. Adahar, one-handed set. It was returned. Apolinario, back to the slide. Kept alive. Open this time. Quezada, off of the blockers. Balik kay Harvey. Joust, that is won by Quezada.
That was a net touch by Nersidic. Nakita yun na ating second referee when they went for the joust. And take a look at this.
Nersidic yung tumama sa net.
Oo.
2 serving 1. Again, in their first 4 games, they look different. And that translated into 4 losses. After that, everything changed for Santa Rosa. Now they're on their way, possibly to get their 4th straight victory.
And the first loss, if ever, itong the Navigators Iloilo. That slide attack didn't work for Nersidic.
We only have 3 undefeated teams at this point. Signal HD 7-0. Iloilo and Cotabato both at 5-0. That was checked out courtesy of Disquitado. Santa Rosa celebrated as well. So looks like they're gonna challenge this block touch.
Yeah, the blockers told their coaches na there was no block. Parang hindi nag-over yung palo na yun ng Disquitado, but it was just too fast. Hindi natin nakita kung tumama ba talaga sa braso ng mga blockers or hindi.
Gotta love the trust between coaches and players in terms of these challenges.
This is an early challenge for this set, huh?
They're not shy to do it as they are looking to keep their momentum way up in this matchup. You think this could be a possible scare for the next opponents of Santa Rosa, the way they're playing?
Well, pwede dahil habang tumatagal, gumaganda talaga itong laro na pinapakita ng Santa Rosa.
Let's see, was there a block touch?
There is.
Yeah. So, yung mga ganitong moment, hindi ka dun sa naka-block. Ano reaction niya? Because for sure, he was trying to hide it. That's Axel Book. Ba't ka nga naman naamin kung na-challenge yun na, no? Alright, 2 serving 3. Iloilo down by 1. First ball, Mendoza. The setup to... Kumana pa yun. That is Magsino scoring.
Actually, De Pedro was already trying to get that defense, pero nagkaroon lang sila ng miscom doon ni Piojo.
Was that a low set? Or...
No, it was a double quick play, actually. The quick, A quick in the middle and B quick.
So just enough to score for Adahar. Harvey goes to the open, and that is outside. Now, they're asking for another challenge.
I thought there was a check ball, but first referee said there was none. That's why the point goes to the Navigators Iloilo.
Let's see.
Medyo mahirap sa angle natin.
Well, Mendoza told his coach, wag na. Let's play on. At bawi naman agad si
Bumawi
Yoyo.
naman siya doon.
You gotta remember, they already used their first challenge.
Oo. So they're trying to save their second challenge naman.
Have you ever witnessed the team use 2 challenges before reaching 10 points?
Wala pa.
Wala pa, no?
Usually, nag-challenge sila after the second technical timeout.
Now, service error from Axel Book. Getting some words of encouragement. Wala kay Centeno, who has been playing splendidly as their new libero. Disquitado with 7 points on 7 attacks. The 18-year-old from Laguna. Yoyong Mendoza soaring and scoring.
It was a good attack again by Yoyong Mendoza, really using the hands of his blockers. We've seen a lot of clean attacks actually kay Mendoza. Talagang diretso sa court, but this time, for this set, pinapalo niya palabas. Yun yung mga mahirap depensahan pag tumalsik na sa braso ng blockers yung bola.
Oh, what a play.
Oh!
That was like a VNL play. And it works out as Santa Rosa gets a block.
And that was a good block by Bakil.
Wasn't that an international play from Santa Rosa?
Well, si Adahar kasi nakakapalo rin siya in the
Oo.
front row. So, pag siya nakakuha ng first ball, pwede ka rin magbigay ng set sa kanya sa opposite.
And he's pretty tall.
He is.
Oh, that's low for Cortez.
Yeah, it was too low.
Now it's a 4-point lead. We go to our first technical timeout in set number 3. Santa Rosa just continuing with their momentum.
Migs and Panang, during the timeout, Coach John Panes is urging the Navigators to double time and offer it in hopes for a fifth set, telling them to not let the first game of the month jitters get the worst of them. Rashner Siddiq of the Navigators Iloilo introduced me to their new system during their 2-week break from Spikers Turf. While Jade was away, nagsi-circuit training sila 3 times a week to strengthen not only their volleyball skills but also their endurance. Let's see kung kakayanin ng endurance to get them a 4th and a 5th set.
Thank you, Alexis, for that one. Of course, it's interesting as to how Iloilo kept up with their conditioning nung wala si Jade. Si Jade lang naman yung nawala.
Yeah.
But they had to keep things intact.
That's right. Kasi, tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung strength and conditioning training. But it's also important to be able to play as one team para mas alam nyo or magkakilala kayo na mas maayos on how to play seamlessly sa mga upcoming games nyo.
Well, they're definitely going to need that endurance and even their chemistry come alive here because things like that are happening for Santa Rosa.
Yes, mabilis makabawi itong Santa Rosa. Every time they commit an error, sa next play may sagot sila kagad. Kaya naman lumalaki yung lamang palagi nitong Santa Rosa City Lions.
Now, if you can go back to Iloilo, as much as we say they're still undefeated, they won in 5 sets in their previous game. We also have to remember what you said, Paneng. In the sets that they lost in their previous matchup against Navy, their body language, their level of play really dipped down.
Yeah, and we're seeing it again now dahil yung mga top scorers itong Navigators sa Iloilo, talagang nalilimit yung numbers nila for this game. Yung previous game, yung kanilang mga top scorers, itong si Desquitado especially, he scored 21 points for that game. And also si Cordes, who scored 13 points. And Guaza, their middle blocker, who scored 14 points. But ngayon, hindi nag-start for this third set si Guaza, in-replace siya ni Piojo. But yung numbers pa rin, itong mga open attacks, si Cordes, si Desquitado, very limited yung kanilang scoring efficiency for this game.
Cordes tried to score again. It sailed out, but there's going to be a challenge here. So now it is Iloilo's turn to challenge. They're down by 3 in this very crucial stage of this match, especially for their team, as they are trying to fight for their undefeated record to stay alive. And as much as we recognize their greatness at the start of this conference, balikan natin yan as we take a look at the block touch. Mukhang meron nga. It's an easy one. It would be successful for Iloilo.
Good challenge there.
Now, I was pointing out, Paneng, yes, they're undefeated, but we are in the second half of our conference. And there's also a matter of building your momentum if you do reach the semifinals.
That's right. And yung momentum talaga yung kailangan nitong patapusan ng conference. And also, yung kanilang level of play. Dahil may times na if yung team, depende sa kanilang training program, pag maaga sila nag-peak, I mean yung condition nila maaga nag-peak, pag patapos na yung conference, dun bumababa.
Right.
So
Can't afford that.
it depends on their training program, the way they train and the way they play.
Diskitado, babawi.
That was an emphatic kill in the open by Diskitado.
You did mention you are looking forward to Diskitado's reactivation alongside the team captain Cortez. They're two leading scorers. Just a 2-point lead. Back set, Quezada. If Sidik was there. Polinario to the quick. Piojo will score.
That was 2 consecutive points by the Navigators Iloilo. Now, Santa Rosa is only up by 1 point.
So what do you think about the substitution of Piojo coming in?
That was maganda itong nilalaro ni Piojo so far.
First ball, Mendoza. At the heart, chasing and setting. Axel Book. That is out. Now Iloilo tying things up. Could this be the momentum swing that they're looking for?
Since the start of this game, hindi pa nakakalamang sa score itong the Navigators Iloilo. But they were able to cut down the lead.
This is their golden opportunity. Targeting Mendoza again on the serve. Open. Book is rejected. And there you have it, folks. Iloilo now has the lead.
Who blocked that ball? Let's take a look. That was single block
Wow.
by Apolinario.
We talked about his height. Not exactly a tall setter, but well enough to get that block. Service error here.
That was a good timing on the block by Apolinario.
Again, Iloilo, they have to be careful with those serves. They have been costly for them. The timing hasn't been helpful. 12 all. Espanzo on the first ball. Apolinario opens up. Diskitado off the block.
And now we're seeing the energy from Diskitado. Hindi siya ganyan mag-celebrate every time he score a point nung first 2 sets. But this time, na-feel mo na yung kanyang energy for this set.
Ooh.
Oh, the ball is still alive.
Almost scored on that one. Diskitado! That's a mistake there from Iloilo.
Yeah, it was a double contact on the set ni Apolinario. We're seeing a close third set, Migs.
Parang mas close, no?
Oo.
It's getting closer and closer from the first set to the third set. Combination. Jade is rejected. Good coverage by Espanzo. Toto Stern. De Pedro down the line. Kept alive. Open. Mendoza. What a hammer!
Ganda ng palo na yon ni Mendoza. Nakita mo yung swing niya and then yung contact niya sa bola. Take a look at this.
Wow. Picture perfect right there from the 18-year-old. Santa Rosa back with the lead, 14-13. The chase by Apolinario. Diskitado breaking down the wall. Okay. Is this looking like a showdown for you?
Parang yung mga open attackers nitong both squad really showing us.
But if it's Diskitado versus Mendoza, we'll take it. We'll take that
Of
show.
course.
By all means, continue, please. Strong serve. Adahar. Yoyong. Oh! Finding the back row.
That was good placement by Yoyong Mendoza. Yung attack niya, it was actually mistimed. Now, take a look at this. Papasok siya for the quick set eh. But napataas yung set na yon. Tinulak na lang niya sa dulo ng court itong Navigators Iloilo. Very smart attack.
Gotta love the
there.
celebration, no?
Oo.
Oh, that's low. 15 all.
Isahan lang tayo for this set.
We talked about the energy being high at the start of this matchup. With this game getting better and better, you can expect it to go higher as well. Adahar to the quick. It's been a while.
Yeah, that was Bakil on the quick attack.
Pero mataas pa rin talaga yung porsyento ni Bakil. Alright. So it's 16-15. Santa Rosa regaining the lead. Andri Bakil was a perfect 4 out of 4 in terms of his attack efficiency in the first set. He continues with that high percentage, now at 9 out of 11, which is
82%
wow, that's so
efficiency.
fast, Paneng. You're so fast.
Well, if you 11 sets yung binigay sa'yo and you were able to convert 9 of those.
Really
So,
high.
yeah. So, alam mo, nag-work talaga yung mga quick attacks mo and na-recognize naman yun ni Adahar.
And this is Toto De Pedro answering back for Iloilo. Remember, they took the lead just a while ago. Now we're tied again. Ooh, almost worked again. The chase by Iloilo. Espanso crosses it. Adahar onto the open. Harvey Quezada with a sharp hit.
What a cross-court attack by Quesada. Parang walang nahawakan yung blockers ng Iloilo dun sa open attack niya na yun.
Wow, there you go.
Sobrang iwas na iwas yung cross-court.
Espanso can only do so much. By the way, James Espanso is in the top 10 in digging and receiving. So you got to give credit to the libero of Iloilo. And now the slide by Nursidik.
That was a good slide attack by Nursidik.
You did mention the term piso-piso. Here we go. 17 all. Adahar to the quick. Oh, there you go. So Bakil is now
It's actually 10 out of 12.
10 out of 12. Wow.
Very high efficiency in the middle by Bakil. Every time na binibigyan siya ng bola ni Adahar, nako-convert niya into a point.
18, serving 17. We have a new player coming in, Jason Baldos, to serve for Santa Rosa. Bola by De Pedro. Jades approach. No more save.
Ang taas ng palo na yun, Diskitado. Talagang over the blockers for that open attack. Now take a look at this.
You know, Jay Disquitado started rising up to the ranks in the pandemic era. He started in the Champions League when he was playing for Global Remit alongside Ishpol Borosa. After that, he reintroduced himself in the Spikers turf, where he became the star for Santa Rosa. But would you argue that now that he's playing for Iloilo, he's even jumping higher?
He is actually jumping higher and yung contact niya sa bola ang taas, which makes him mahirap na blockin na spiker for this conference.
Good dig right there by De Pedro. There's the height again. The jump from Disquitado. Rejection from Iloilo. Adahar to the quick. Ganda ng balik ni Piojo. Tulak. Iniangat. Disquitado serve. Yes!
Disquitado really using the hands of his blockers, breaking that double block of Santa Rosa City Lions. Kanina, no, first 2 sets, medyo iniingatan niya yung palo niya, but this time he was able to bring back his form in the attacking and yung kanyang power dun sa kanyang open attacks. Bumabalik na dito for Disquitado.
And the lead is back with Iloilo. The push and the lift. Chance. Oh! Hindi na itawid. That's unfortunate for Renzengay. And that will tie things up once again on this mistake.
It was actually a good intention there to drop the ball in the front row ng Santa Rosa dahil pag nakuha yan ni Adahar, mahihirapan na maka-execute ng plays itong Santa Rosa.
Now a block from the red shirts.
Good timing on the block there by Axel Boo.
And that's a block of Disquitado.
It was. Good timing. Sabi na siguro nakakadami na itong si Disquitado.
That's Axel Boo with the rejection. Lead is back with Santa Rosa as they try to close things out in 3 sets. Apolinario. Pipe. Cortez. Great dig by Adahar with a smile, by the way. And now it's double contact.
It was a miss set by their libero, De Feria. And now we're tied at 20.
Back and forth we go, folks. This match is getting tighter and tighter. But can Iloilo win a set already? Adahar, that was a miscue. Disquitado will make Santa Rosa pay.
was good opposite attack by Desquitado. Apolinario really going to Desquitado there to get that 1-point lead for this set. Now they're up by 21.
Now, the thing about the piso-piso here is we're changing leads here. Nagpapalitan ng kalamangan ng ating mga kupunan. At na ngayon, tatablahin na naman ng Santa Rosa.
That was coming off from the combination play by Santa Rosa. Umikot dito si Axel Book to go for that attack in the middle.
Tied at 21. Book with the serve. Cortez gets it. Here's Jade again.
What a block! But that was outside.
Great challenge by Mendoza. To no avail though, as Desquitado is coming alive once more. Remember, he came up in the clutch in the previous game against Navy.
Dito, boys, maniwala kayo sa pag nakapunta tayo dito, makukuha natin tong set. Sa kahit anong mangyari, kunin natin tong set. Maliwanag? Kahit anong mangyari. Ano ang una natin gagawin? Focus muna tayo. One good pass, bag-set, paluin ng maayos. Okay? Hindi ko kailangan ng malakas, kailangan ko puntos. Okay? Let's go, let's go! Tapos na, let's go!
Oh, Coach Edward wants it. And he wants it now from his team.
Yeah, because especially they're already up by 2 sets.
And you could also be giving up momentum here for Iloilo. Something that you would like to prevent. It's 22 serving 21. Jade Desquitado now picking things up for himself in set number 3. 13 points for the Iloilo Star, formerly the Santa Rosa Star. Jade with the serve. Quezada with the first ball. Adahar. Mendoza rejected. How about Jim Espancho celebrating as they got that point?
Of course, and now this is their biggest lead so far for this game. Up by 2 points. Kung kailan patapos na tayo for this set.
And now it's Kevin Montemayor who checks in. Could be the emergency button here for Coach Edward Lirio. It is 23 serving 21. The undefeated record of Iloilo on the line.
Oh!
That's not enough from Espanzo.
That was a good quick attack by Magsino.
He quickly apologizes to Espanzo. Then again, it's never intentional. It's a good act of sportsmanship mula kay Magsino. Yeah, Magsino. You look at him, he looks young as well, no?
Oo.
Itang bata eh. 22, serving 23 to try to tie things up. Desquitado on the first ball. They go to the open. Cortez! He will score. Now it's a set point for the Navigators.
Yan, gumagana na itong mga open attackers ng Navigators Iloilo. Really scoring a lot for their squad.
So can they close things out? Here's Aaron Piojo serving for the set. Remember, he's the one who came in for Nasguasa. Tatawag na timeout dito si Coach Edward.
Sistemado yung gumagalaw natin. Kanina, pwede naman nating tapatan. Bakit nag-swing block pa tayo? Pwede naman natin, alam nyo na naman, nandun na kayo sa harapan, pinapahirapan nyo pa yung sarili nyo. Alam nyo na kung sino yung papalo. Diba? Alam nyo na. Pag ganoong break ball na, binibigay na doon. So anong dapat? Tatapatan na lang. Nakuha ba? O hindi pa yan tapos sa kunin natin tong puntos. Our service na.
Still not giving up here are the Santa Rosa City Lions, who have won the first 2 sets of this matchup. Remember, they have a 3-game winning streak on their side as they go up against the undefeated Iloilo Navigators today. Served by Piojo for the set. Ooh, it's out.
That was outside. Libreng puntos para sa Santa Rosa City Lions.
Timeout naman sa kabila.
Eksena naman, natatawag ng timeout.
Sige. Hindi. One good receive ba? Sino sa harapan kayo?
Kami tatlo.
Okay. Sino na agad?
Isa na lang ha.
Babaya lang lang.
Oo.
Maganda pa sa na patay na.
Hiwalay ng lahat. Okay? Ha? One good receive lang. Isang receive lang, no? Matatapos na to. Basta one receive lang.
Go.
One pass lang.
Go!
So watch out for Cortez and Norsidik. But we also have to commend the Navigators of Iloilo, obviously that huddle was very much alive compared to how it was the first 2 sets.
Yes, mas ma-feel mo na yung kanilang desire to win this set.
Crucial serve from Kevin Montemayor. Espanza gets it.
Good check.
At the heart to the quick, rejected. Kept alive. Toto will send it across. Book will set things up for Quezada. Naibalik. Book back to Harvey. And he breaks down the wall. We are tied, folks. 24-all.
You have to give credit to Adahar, really giving that back-to-back set dito kay Quesada. Nung una na-block siya, but that was a good coverage by him actually. And ang ganda naman ng bawi niya na dito, using the hands of his blockers. And now we're tied at 24.
How about the team captain delivering for Santa Rosa? Serve by Montemayor. Espanzo puts it up again. That's close to the net. The push by Norsidic. Adahar open. Quezada.
Oh!
Great rejection by Iloilo.
Yeah, that was Norsidic who got the drop ball by Quesada. Good intentions though by Quesada, but it was just too low. Abot na abot yon ni Norsidic. Good anticipation there of the blocking for the side of Iloilo.
Left hand of Norsidic sending it back. Set point again for Iloilo. Approach at the middle. Espanza was there. Can this be it? Cortez. Battle at the net. Oh, that is won by Adahar. We're tied up again.
What a joust there in the net by Adahar and Norsidic. Take a look at this. That was actually an over ball, but Adahar, good anticipation. And now he's in the service area, making the front row of City Lions. Tatlo na yung kanilang open, yung mga attackers in the front.
Cortez checks it out. The team captain on the other end delivers. Lead back up with Iloilo. How about this exchange, Paning?
Isahan lang talaga. And now Cortez in the service area, making this Quezada in the front row.
First ball, Centeno. At the heart to the quick. Oh, patuloy dito.
Of course, at
Si
si
Bakil.
Bakil, ang kanyang high percentage in the middle attack. Yung
Now?
sinasabi ni Coach Ed Lirio na hindi niya kailangan ng malakas na palo. Tara, i-variate mo lang yung attacks mo, mapadrop ball man yan or paluin mo, mako-convert mo yan into a point. Basahin mo lang yung blockers and yung pwesto ng depensa.
26 all. Apolinario opens up. Disquitado. That's what you mentioned. He's already in the front.
Yeah, and then we'll definitely expect a lot of sets na ibibigay dito ni Apolinario because currently he has the hot hand.
See his verticality. He's going above the blockers of Santa Rosa. Set point again for Iloilo. Open. Book. Deflected. They're gonna go to Jade. Here he is. And Jade Disquitado wins this set for Iloilo.
That was a back-to-back point from Disquitado. Yan yung kanilang spark na inaantay. Itong mga puntos na sunod-sunod na nakuha nila from Jade Disquitado. Because of that, they closed the set. Third set was an extended match. They were able to get one set. And we'll see kung anong mangyayari nitong fourth set.
Back here in the Paco Arena in Manila, and we have an extended match, folks. The Dean Navigators of Iloilo coming alive at the perfect time. There were a lot of scares right there. The term was piso-piso. Palitan tayo ng kalamangan. Santa Rosa didn't playing well. But with the re-emergence of Jay Disquitado, they take set number 3.
Yes, definitely. Maganda actually yung start nitong Santa Rosa City Lions coming into the third set. But nung kalagitnaan na nung third set, dumamang na itong The Navigators Iloilo with the help of their top scorers. Ito si Jake Disquitado and si Cordes. So far, si Disquitado, same lang din yung nangyari ng previous game nila, is yung siya yung naging spark plug for their team, especially dun sa pagtapos na ng third set. And now we're looking at the numbers. Santa Rosa had 16 points in the attack department, but si The Navigators Iloilo, they had 20. Same lang nung block points, 3 points apiece for both teams. No service aces, but itong The Navigators, mas mataas pa rin yung kanilang errors, but yung Santa Rosa, they had 5 errors, but yung last part nga lang nung set, it was all Disquitado and Cordes who scored the last few points for their squad. And you have to give credit also yung kanilang defense and teamwork. Mas naging maayos ng latter part of that third set. And ito namang, coming into the fourth set, kita pa rin natin itong energy ng Santa Rosa. But we'll see kung masustain nila yung good start until the end, or sa last part naman, biglang bubulusok itong Iloilo.
We begin set number 4, folks. Thank you for joining us. This is Mix Gomez alongside Paneng Mercado, Deconic Swarter, and Alexis Tinsay. And just like how we started the first 3 sets, Santa Rosa will get the first point.
That's coming off from the block ni Quesada.
Yoyong Mendoza will now serve. Some point in this match, he had a flurry of points. With sets coming in mula kay Jericho Adahar. Apolinario. Ooh, the quick. How about the height of Mercedes paying off?
Na kanina, puro slight attack na nakikita natin kay Mercedes. But this time, look at that quick attack. Hindi ko nga alam kung spike ba yun or mabilis na drop ball.
Ooh, bawi sa kabila. Andre Bakil.
That was Bakil. Palagi natin minimension yung kanyang efficiency in the middle. And ito naman, si Adahar, again, the quick attack for Bakil.
Ayun, spike yun. Sigurado.
Spike yun.
Great rejection by Santa Rosa. Cordes again. Ooh, Bakil with the block. Back-to-back points for him.
That was single block actually kay Bakil. Binitawan na yun ni Adahar. Or actually ni Book, binitawan na niya for the block. But nagsisipag ngayon sa blocking itong si Axel Book.
3-1, slide!
Good cover.
Another block. Wow! That net defense is on another level for Santa Rosa.
Santa Rosa is really using their strength in the blocking department. And ang sipag naman ni Axel Book. Kahit si Apolinario, the way he sets, is talagang nihiwalay niya yung blocking. But kahit ganun yung kanyang game plan, andun palagi naman si Book to get the block.
Now, mistake from Iloilo. It has ballooned into a 4-point lead for Santa Rosa that will cause a timeout to be called for the D Navigators.
Kaya nga, tingnan mo. Sige, malayo pa. Adjust ulit. Bawi lang. Kailangan mo one stop muna tayo. Kaya time out. Pag time out, dapat makascore tayo para tuloy-tuloy na natin kagad. Okay?
Sa'yo tayo, papasok natin si Jada.
Okay, sige.
Ingayan natin.
Hey, Navi! Go!
So Iloilo will now have to put up a switch, just like how they did in set number 3. Try to come back in this matchup. On the other end, Santa Rosa is really feeling it. And you know, Paneng, actually, when we started this set, there was a moment between Axel Book and Andre Bakil where they looked at each other and they had a special moment wherein they challenged each other to do better in this set. And it's been paying off.
That's right. And nakita naman natin yung sipag nila since the start of this set in the blocking and attack department. And now, napupwersa nila yung mga attackers ng The Navigators Iloilo to commit an error because pinapakita nila how strong their blocking is.
So now, Malaiba will check in para subukang maiba yung sitwasyon. ng Santa Rosa will make that Iloilo as Cortez will take a breather. 6, serving 1 in set number 4. Service error.
That was the first service error for this set ng Santa Rosa, but they're still up by 4 points.
You could definitely afford that. Malaiba will now serve. It's Paul Bryan Malaiba to send it in. Centeno on the first ball. Combination. Quezada with a stare down after it.
That was a combination play coming up from a one-handed set nitong ni Adahar.
How about that? And he really took his time to look at his opponent after he scored. 7, serving 2. Henry Bakil. Service ace! What a fourth set for Bakil. And he will send us to the first technical timeout of set number 4. Santa Rosa looking good.
Migs and Paneng listening in to the huddle of Coach Edward Lirio. Sinabi niya walang lugar ang katamaran. The Spikers Turf Arena only allows room for effort and double time. Hindi lang daw ito pangarap kundi trabaho din. That is why walang sasayangin na segundo. Let's see if they will close out this set or will the Navigators push for a 5th.
Well, there definitely isn't room anymore for those lapses for Iloilo because they're facing a 6-point deficit. And all the momentum in the world for Henry Bakil and Santa Rosa. The quick rejected. That's by Magsino. Oh, what a play! What a play by Jericho Adahar. Back to Magsino.
Yung jump set niya parang papaluin niya yung bola, pero if you're the blocker of Iloilo, alam mo na back row itong si Adahar. Kaya muna sumabay sa kanya in the blocking, but masyado mabilis lang yung pasok nito ni Magsino on the quick.
Misreceived. Apolinario puts it back. Jade sends it, but it's long.
And that was outside. So far to si Jade Disquitado, no first set he only scored 3 points. Second set he scored 3 points also. And coming into the third set, he doubled that point. At sinobrahan pa actually, he had 10 points. Kaya naman nakuha nila, na-close nila yung third set na yon.
But they're gonna need him here in the fourth set because they're down by 8. Nasguaza is back.
It's the biggest lead so far for this game.
Right. Jake, that's long again, but first referee calls it Iloilo's point off of the check. There's Jay Disquitado. We keep on repeating it because we have to. He is the former star of Santa Rosa, now playing for the other team and fresh off of his stint training with the national team in Taiwan. Nasguaza back at it. Centeno on the first ball. They go to Axel Falk.
I have to give credit to the jump set of Adahar. Ang ganda nung timing niya doon na sinabay niya sa pasok ng kanyang quick attack. But last minute sinet niya yung bola sa open. Kaya naman na-late na doon yung blockers ng Iloilo.
Jay Disquitado, can see them trying to go to him and make him convert. But you see the way he celebrates. Iba.
Not as energetic nung third set. Talagang sumisigaw siya doon every time he scores a point. But this time, parang he walked away lang. But still, a good open attack by Jay Disquitado.
For serving 11. Oh, see that set from Adahar? It was a no-look.
Yeah, it was a quick low set from Adahar to Magsino. And now, activating his middle attackers for this set. Kaya man nalilate itong mga blockers and the Navigators Iloilo. Hindi nila mabasa kung kanino ibibigay ni Adahar yung bola.
And now, that does not go through for Piojo. Mistakes happening at the worst time for Iloilo. And how about Jericho Adahar with 30 excellent sets for today.
Not just that, he already has 4 points coming up from 2 attacks, 1 block, and 1 service ace.
Remember, in the previous game, he had 9 points and 13 excellent sets. Ooh, Yoyo Mendoza had an awkward landing. Pero pagpag lang, that's a point for Jade.
Kita mo yung palo ni Jade Disquitado kasi palabas yung direksyon ng bola.
It's an 8-point deficit being faced by Iloilo. Disquitado will be serving. Total attack points. It's +3 for Santa Rosa. Quezada on the first ball. Mendoza will send it across. Here is De Pedro. That is outside.
It was too wide.
They will challenge a net touch. You know, Paneng, this Santa Rosa team just looks like a different beast.
And maganda yung kanilang nilalaro since the start of this game.
They were fired up, right, in the first set to start it.
Until now, every time na papasok sila sa court, let's take a look at this challenge. Net touch.
Ayun. Yung pababa na.
Oo. Right on top of the net. That was a good challenge by Iloilo. Now the point goes to them, but still a comfortable lead by Santa Rosa.
6 serving 13. Great challenge, as you mentioned. Balik tayo kay Jade. Serve to Book. Quick again. Magsino sends it across. Apolinario mula sa likod. Disquitado straight to the face of Centeno. This guy is a walking time bomb.
Yeah, you can't leave only one blocker for Jade Disquitado. Kahit back row man yan.
7, serving 13. Disquitado again with that strong serve. Quezada puts it up. At the heart of Mendoza. Sent back. That's a point for Yoyo because it was outside. Apolinario telling his coaches that it was in. So they're gonna challenge it.
As long as may tumama, yung bola tumama sa line na kahit konti lang, it will be called inside. Pero minsan sa bilis ng bola, hindi na natin nakikita yun. That's why ginagamit ng challenge. Ginagamit ng mga teams yung challenge nila.
Let's see, was it in or out? Oh, that's it.
Yeah, that's inside.
You know, Apolinario looked very confident as he told and asked his coaches to challenge that one.
Now, 2 successful challenges for Iloilo.
So that's another one. The lead is trimmed down to 5. Disquitado back at it, 20 points to the Iloilo Stars. Now that is wide. Balik tayo sa Santa Rosa, 14 serving 8. Gab Magsino. Espanso gets it. Onto the quick, rejected.
That was
Andre
Bakel again. We're seeing a different Bakel for this set. Oo. Since the start of this set, tuloy-tuloy yung kanyang puntos na binibigay for his squad and his energy. Grabe yung pagsa-celebrate na every time he gets a point.
Service error naman. Mula kay Gab Magsino. Centeno will return. 9 serving 15. Iloilo will need to have a run here. Adahar looks and sets. Katamaan yung mga manlalaro. Ooh, that works for Cortez. It's a broken play, right?
Oo. Now, let's take a look at this. Actually, nag-one step back pa nga to si Cortez for that attack.
Oh, service error again. It's been back-to-back now for Piojos. Had the same thing by the end of set number 3 as he reached the second technical timeout, 16-10. We've been talking about Iloilo as one of the 3 undefeated teams remaining in our team standings. We have Signal, the D Navigators, and Cotabato, who won earlier against Imus. Santa Rosa, they're in the middle of the pack, 3 and 4. But we have to remember, their standing initially was 0 and 4.
Oo, so they have a winning streak so far.
And right now, they're well on pace to extend that streak to 4 games, and they can possibly now hand the first loss of the conference to Iloilo. Yoyong, another service error. Marami na. It's 3 for Santa Rosa in this set, 2 for Iloilo, and 27 in total for those 2 teams for this matchup. Adahar, onto Quezada, off speed. Battle at the net. Hindi na kinontest ng Santa Rosa yun. And that's an easy point for Guaza.
Now we're seeing na itong mga attacks ng Santa Rosa, they're variating it already. Dami na tayo nakikita mga drop balls, strong attacks, or even mga quick drops.
But Henry Bakit continues. As you mentioned, he's been different in set 4.
Now he has the hot hands for the City Lions. And si Adahar, nakita naman niya yung attack efficiency nitong ni Bakil.
Ooh. Pedro puts it up. Apolinario. Back to the team captain. Chase here. Dangerous situation for the players. But you see the effort, Paneng.
Yeah.
All the way to their bench.
Actually, tumama na nga sa bleachers itong libero ng
That's
City
Deferia.
Lions. That's Deferia.
Well, he looks to be... Oh, now he holds on to his neck. Hopefully, he's gonna be okay.
Layo ng hinabol niya. Tapos, muntik na nang lumusot sa ilalim ng bleacher.
But just as we say that, Andre Bakil scores again.
What a game that we're seeing here from Bakil.
He has already overshadowed the fact that Adahar now has 30-plus excellent sets. That's how good these 2 players have been.
Oh, that was
Guaza with the
Guaza.
Punisher.
Hindi na nasundan yon ng block ni Magsino and ni Quezada. Now, let's take a look what happened here.
Well, they did tell us that that's why they transitioned Guaza into a middle because of his quickness. Now he will serve Guaza, who he missed the past couple of sets after being subbed out in favor of Piojo. Book with a push. No more chase from Nas.
You saw the defenders of Iloilo. Everyone was really expecting for a strong attack. Ang layo nila. Lahat sila nandun sa likod. But itong si Guaza na late to get that drop ball. Laki ng butas.
Quezada serving. Onto the open. Chase Quitado down the line. He just hits it different, no?
Kapag hindi tumama sa kamay ng blockers, as in grabe yung
Good luck na lang.
grabe yung speed and yung lakas ng bola.
And you can only imagine as well how much he has learned training from the national team. Good save by Iloilo. Chance here. They go to the quick.
A good defense.
That's by Apolinario. He kept it alive. Another
Almost a
chance.
miscue.
Adahar. Balik kay Magsino. Espanza was there, and here's Jay putting it away.
That was back-to-back points by Jay Disquitado. And now they were able to cut their lead
Remember, this was 8 points at the start of the set, the lead by Santa Rosa.
And now they're only up by
3 points. 16 serving 19. First ball, Book. Open, Mendoza. Strong hit. Pawi agad.
what an open attack by Mendoza. Parang sometimes sa direction ng katawan niya na alam mo cross-court niya papaluin tapos last minute bigla siyang haharap sa down the line or dun niya dadalhin yung bola.
May twist, no?
Oo.
As a block comes here for Santa Rosa. They have been blocking very well as well in the set.
Yeah, good timing.
Magsino.
Una, receive para makatake tayo, maka-offense tayo ng maayos. O, kailangan natin offense naman ngayon. Tapos balik na tayo sa strong blockers na yun. Tatlo na kayo sa harapan eh. Lalaki nyo yung tatlo, dapat makontrol nyo yan. Okay, kanina una lusot-lusotan tayo, crucial na yan. Okay, crucial na yan. Okay, wala na ako timeout. Okay, wala na ako timeout. Go!
You heard the last words. That's the last time out of Iloilo as they try to save this set, this match, and their undefeated record. It's 21 serving 16. Could be winning time for Santa Rosa.
And now it's all up to the players of the Navigators Iloilo on how they want to close this set.
Oh, another great block. Iloilo talked about blocking, but that has been well alive for Santa Rosa.
Since the start of this set,
Right.
we saw a lot of kill blocks from the Santa Rosa side. But nung mga previous sets, nakaka-check sila na madami, napapabagal nila yung bola. But this time naman, nako-convert nila into a point.
6-point lead for Santa Rosa. It's now ballooning again. Axel Book will send it in. Jade. Again, it was sent back, but it just went outside.
But they'll be needing a lot of that. Talking about Iloilo, they still need 5 points to tie the set.
And now he's at the back.
Now Cortez is in the front, but they still have full frontliners for Iloilo.
17 serving 22. Ooh, what a save by Centeno. Chance here for Iloilo. They go to their team captain. Another block. Nasa likod. Disquitado puts it away.
Nakita mo kung gaano kalakas yung bola na yon or yung attack na yun on the back row ni Jade Disquitado. Bilis ng bola.
Never mind that he's in the back row. He can still do stuff like that. Kawawa naman yung fan doon who had to absorb that ball. We have a timeout.
Malulila. So alam na natin kagad, ahead of time, alam na natin kung sino yung bablakan natin. Liwanag, una muna natin gagawin, mag-receive. Pagka-receive, umatake tayo ng maayos.
We heard that same instruction
Yes.
in the previous set.
Mag-start pa rin sa magandang receive. Mataas na yan na maayos, masiset niya na maayos ni Adahar.
And remember, Coach Edward is not looking for a strong hit. Just looking for a point.
A point.
Disquitado with 22 big-time points in this matchup. Adahar opens up. Oh! Yoyo Mendoza. Now that's a point for you.
I hope satisfied doon si Coach Ed Lirio coming off from a timeout. What an open attack. Single block there only for Yoyong Mendoza.
Oh, he does give credit to Yoyong.
Yeah, hindi yun nakuha ng ating camera but nilapitan niya si Yoyong.
He put his hands on Yoyong's head, which is one of the ultimate signs of respect. 23-18. Jade received it, and here is the team captain once more. Cortez delivering. They're gonna need to pile up the points. Can there be one last comeback here from Iloilo? Engay will return for Piojo, and he will serve. Renz Engay with a very, very crucial serve here. 19-23 in set 4. Book with the receive. Adahar 1-2.
Polinario was there.
And Guaza will send it to the back. Timeout again.
Taking palagi, pag mga crucial. Boys, isang magandang receive, isang magandang set, isang maayos na palo.
Dito na tayo. Dito na tayo. Push na to.
Tingnan, ano yun ha? Ano mo na, kung kaya mong kunin mo na. Ako ba? Ready tayo palagi.
Dito na pre. Dito na tayo. Dito na tayo pre.
It's the same thing, but you know the timing of the timeout matters.
Oo, dahil especially yung service nasa opponents nyo. Minsan tumatawag ng timeout yung mga coaches to kill the momentum of your opponent.
Nasquaza getting that hit. Good save by Apolinario, as you mentioned. 20 serving 23. Ball gets it. Chased by Adahar. Mendoza again. Great block. Toto De Pedro celebrates as he talks back to Yoyong.
Now, 2-point lead na lang itong Santa Rosa City Lions coming up from that good block by De Pedro.
21-23. It was Guaza who got that block. Great for him to return and contribute. Ball deflected. Mendoza. Adahar. Yoyong again. Polinario was there. Oh, that's close.
Oh!
And a net touch. And an awkward landing as well for Mendoza, who's holding on to his left foot. That could be costly.
I think nagkatamaan sila doon ni De Pedro sa landing because that set was a bit too tight.
Ooh, you saw the face of Yoyo Mendoza grimacing in pain after that landing. Oh, he stepped on the foot of his teammate, itong si Bakil. Lead is down to 1.
That was a better first ball, and that's Bakil and the quick attack. Yun yung sinasabi ni Coach Ed Lirio na you have to start with a good first ball.
And they go back to their top performer, especially in this set, Andre Bakil. Another sure point for Santa Rosa. It's 2 match points now for the red shirts. Kevin Montemayor serving for the match. Recently checked in for Yoyong Mendoza. That's off. Iloilo still alive.
A close fourth set. Kanina ang laki ng lamang nitong Santa Rosa City Lions, but the Navigators was able to cut it down to 1.
Oh, Bakil!
De Pedro was there.
And here is Cortez. We are tied again. Another extended set.
What a fourth set that we're seeing right now.
Again, Iloilo was down by as much as 8 points already at the start of set number 4. 24 all. Quezada's turn. Deflected. The chase by Disquitado. Cortez.
Good defense there.
Balik kay Quezada. Toto.
What a
keeping it
defense by
alive.
De Pedro.
Wow. Cortez putting it away. Set point, Iloilo.
Grabe yung depensa na yun and the Navigators Iloilo. You have to give credit to Disquitado and also kay De Pedro. They were the ones na talagang naghabol for that check ball. And now sila pang nauna sa set point.
25-24. Toto De Pedro. Adahar will go back to Bakil. Chase here by Espanso. Itatawid ni Cortez. Oh! A miscue for Santa Rosa. Coming at the worst possible time. And folks, you're gonna have to delay your dinner plans because we are gonna have a set number 5. What a comeback.
What a comeback indeed for the Navigators Iloilo. That last point by Cortez was actually not a strong attack but very good placement lang to close that set. Another extended set for this match with the Navigators winning that to 26 and 24. Now we're going to a 5th set.
Folks, we are going to a fifth set as the Team Navigators of Iloilo have successfully pulled off a huge comeback. They were down by 8 points early in set number 4. It wasn't really a huge run. Unti-unti nilang binaba. And then eventually, they extend set number 4, and because of a miscommunication error by Santa Rosa, we're here. We're not having dinner yet. We're still covering the game.
Yeah, like what you mentioned, extended match nga. Now we're on for the 5th set, but like what you mentioned, talagang unti-unti trinabaho nitong The Navigators Iloilo to get that 4th set, and you see how they celebrated because parang napansin mo na ang laki na nun lamang ng Santa Rosa, pero dumikit sila. Nauna sila sa set point and they closed it kagad, and now we're looking at the numbers. Attack points, lumamang itong The Navigators, 18 points versus 11 lang ng Santa Rosa, but we saw it since the start of that set is yung blockings ng Santa Rosa. They got 6 kill blocks versus 2 ng Iloilo. 1 service ace by Santa Rosa, and pareho lang tayo on the errors. But yung last stretch for that set 4, mas maganda ang nilaro nitong The Navigators Iloilo. Yung mga clutch plays nila, especially kay yung mga saves in the defense ni Desquitado and ni De Pedro. And of course, yung pag-close nitong ni team captain Cordes on that soft attack. Placement attack lang, zone 5 in the defense of Santa Rosa.
So we're back at it again, especially with Iloilo. The last time we saw them play in the Spikers turf, it reached 5 sets with Paneng Mercado de Conixwater as the analyst. Now she's back here, and it's again 5 sets as Iloilo gets the first point. Now, the story is different now because remember, against Navy, Iloilo won the first 2 sets.
That's right.
And they had to recover in set number 5. Now they have the momentum.
And they were the first one who get this point, to get the point for the first set. Unlike the first, second, third, and fourth, it's always Santa Rosa who gets the first point.
Bakil!
What a save by Desquitado!
They've been doing that since the end of set number 4. Montemayor kept alive. Apolinario back set. Nursidik, ganda ng lagay.
Perfect placement there sa gilid lang ni Montemayor. And now a big difference in the lineup for Santa Rosa is Montemayor starting for this 5th set. We're not seeing Quesada on the floor right now.
They have Montemayor. Mendoza is back, who Montemayor replaced by the end of set number 4. Here's Kevin. And that is in, badly needed by Santa Rosa.
That was an out-of-system play for Santa Rosa City Lions, but Montemayor was able to get that point coming off from this open attack right in the middle. Zone 6 for the Navigators Iloilo.
1 serving 2. Adahar with 30-plus excellent sets already. Oh, down the line hit.
Good defense.
Book, the chase by Apolinario, who had to stop himself. We're tied, folks, 2-all, back to square one.
That's actually the 12th point by Axel Book.
And the good save as well mula kay Keith De Feria off of that strong down-the-line hit by Iloilo. First ball to Toto. Here's Jerome. Put up by Yoyong. Axel, sent back. Chase by Adahar. Balik kay Montemayor, who is rejected.
Now this is a different rotation for Santa Rosa City Lions. Axel Book is now playing open, or left side, and Montemayor will be the opposite spiker for this set.
Jerome Cordes, 3 serving 2. Mendoza got that ball, and here's Kevin again. Same result. Another block for Iloilo.
That was a good back-to-back block. That was Desquitado and Nursidik.
Again, the stakes are high in this matchup. That's why you see the faces of guys like Rash Nursidik and Jay Desquitado react like that. Great rejection. Bakil was denied. The push by Book. Apolinario to the quick. Lagay na naman. That's Rash Nursidik.
Now you can see the momentum shifted. The better gameplay here by the Navigators Iloilo. At tumahimik naman ngayon ang Santa Rosa City Lions. And now they're up by 3 points.
Iloilo, with their undefeated record on the line. What a comeback it has been. Can they close things off? Santa Rosa's 3-game winning streak on the line. And it's Andre Bakel who converts.
Of course, Andre Bakel, that's already his
21st point.
21st point. Right.
Dami na rin.
For a middle blocker or middle attacker, that's
a lot.
Lot of points.
Norsidic answering back. Now he's coming alive in set number 5.
Now, 13 points na so far by Norsidic.
And he has outscored himself in at least on a percent basis. 5 points in this set. He had 3 in sets 1 and 3, 1 in sets 2 and 4, respectively. Adahar, Book! Great athleticism by Axel Book. This is just arm's length for Santa Rosa. Anybody's ball game. Montemayor serving. Oh! Service ace from Kevin.
Good service ace. Actually, ang baba lang ng daan ng bola niya. That was a miscommunication by Cortez.
How about the thrust by Coach Edward Lirio, putting Montemayor in the crucial moments. Combination. There's a net touch here from Santa Rosa. That was on the Jay Disquitado approach.
That was Magsino on the net touch.
7, serving 5. The number 1 setter entering this ball game, J.M. Apolinario. Centeno on the first ball. They go to the combination. No more chase. Book with the point.
1 point advantage na lang itong si Iloilo. So far, since the start of this set, na-maintain nila yung kanilang lamang in the scoring.
6, serving 7. Axel Book. Ball up by De Pedro. They go to the quick. That's a strong one. And we are tied, folks. Oh no.
They're off by 2
it's
points.
It's a 2-point lead for Iloilo. They continue with their momentum off of that strong hit by Nas Guaza, who again took some time off at the bench in sets 2 and 3. He returns and he contributes once more for the white shirts. So we switch places after that point for Iloilo. Again, it is a 2-point lead as we turn you over to Alexis Tinsay.
To my surprise, Migs and Paneg, the first thing I heard in the Iloilo huddle is, Coach, huwag nyo na kaming alalahanin kung paano yung depensa namin kanina, gagawin namin yun ulit para makuha tong 5th set, says Jay Disquitado. Coach John Pares of the Navigators Iloilo told them to enjoy every second of it because it's never too late daw para mailabas ang kanilang tunay na laro. Tingnan natin kung kanino papasa kamay ang 5th set na ito.
Thank you, Alexis. That's one good thing, no? For a player or for a coach to trust his players, no? At some point, kaya mo silang hayaan and let them do their thing, let them regain their composure. And these players have certainly delivered. Jerome Cortez, the team captain, leading the way, getting a point. Take a look at the replay. Gets 3 blockers.
Yeah, that was 3 blockers in front of him, but ginamit pa rin niya yung that's a smart move for Cortez. So nantay niya yung makita niya yung mga kamay ng blockers niya, tsaka na pinalo at pinatama sa kanyang sa braso ng blockers in the blocker in the middle.
Ooh.
And that was outside, no block touch.
Look at the celebration from Iloilo. It has been up and down for them in terms of body language, in terms of energy in this matchup. Right now they're up and they'll surely take it. 10-7 our score.
Tayo may kagustuhan yan. Diba? Ang pinakamahalaga dyan, mga anak, kung paano tayo tatayo. Diba? Yun naman yung lagi sinasabi ni Coach. Gawin natin, no? Napakalayo pa yan. Ayusin lang natin yung mga kilos natin. Ayusin lang natin yung mga skills na dapat natin gawin dito. Okay na tayo. Liwanag? Boy! Go, ha? Tara!
So now, the tides have changed. The situation has reversed. Santa Rosa will play catch-up as the D Navigators of Iloilo have a 3-point lead. 10 serving 7. They have the service specialist, Renz Engay. Send that ball in. Talking about Iloilo. Desquitado is having a word with the first referee. Jade against his former team of Santa Rosa. A lot of people thought it was over in 3 sets. A lot of people thought it was over in 4 sets. But here we are. We have a warning
serving
here of Jay Desquitado for misconduct.
Serving
What he
is
did.
Renzenga.
We continue. 10 serving 7.
Oh, I
Ball
thought it was
up.
going out.
Bok had to reach that one. Kept alive here. Push. Chance for Iloilo. Nursidik extending his left hand. Adahar. They go to Yoyong. No more recovery. Crucial point for Santa Rosa. See that play from Yoyong Mendoza. By the way, it's good to see him back after he stepped on the foot of his teammate Andre Bakil in set number 4, and he had to be subbed out. Apolinario to Nursidik. Quick answer.
Yeah, and now we've seen Apolinario really activating his middle attackers coming into this 5th set. Medyo hindi nakaka-adjust in the blockings itong Santa Rosa City Lions.
Nursidik continues to play well here in set number 5. Adahar off of a good receive. Centeno puts it up. Jericho this time decides to attack and he will score.
That was Adahar coming off from an opposite attack. Hindi lang siya pang setter.
Oo.
Pwede rin siya pang opposite attacker for your squad.
Oh, he looked very comfortable on that attack. Apolinario to the slide. Yes! How about Rash Nursidik coming alive at the best time?
That's right, and their connection. Itong si Apolinario and si Nursidik. We're seeing a lot of quick attacks and even slide coming off from Nursidik.
Serve ngayon si Jerome Cortez. Onto the quick. Andre Bakil again.
That was a good answer by Bakil.
We have a double sub here. Take a look at that replay. That connection has been well on point today. Camagan will serve for Santa Rosa. Again, the pressure on these service specialists. They reach high levels, come into a crucial match. Desquitado. That out? Was that in?
That was outside, but there was no block touch. And now the coaches of Iloilo will use their challenge.
Desquitado did argue that there was a touch.
If they're successful, that will give them a 3-point advantage.
This is obviously the most crucial challenge so far, with a score of 12-10. Let's see. Was there a block touch?
Oh, there is. There was a block touch on Magsino.
By the way, these players have to be careful with their conduct. There have been some taunting happening here. Wala pa naman nag-aaway, which we do never want in volleyball. Pero
In any sport.
that's how fired up these players are. And again, these are two of the youngest teams.
That's right.
13, serving 10, Nursidik, who has come alive in set 5. Open! Woo! Down the line, Axel Bok. Santa Rosa still in there.
And coming off from that good first ball, Yoyong Mendoza.
Montemayor serving 11-13 in set number 5. Ooh! There's a yellow.
We're seeing a lot of yellow cards so far for this game. So, ma-feel mo lang talaga yung level of intensity.
Right. We have a 3-game winning streak of Santa Rosa on the line here. And the undefeated record of Iloilo on the line as well. Over receive, joust.
Oh, that was clearly a lifting violation from Guaza.
And just like that, it's a 1-point game. At ngayon, merong challenge on a net touch. Boy, this game has been a roller coaster, Paneng.
That's right. Kaya ito napatawag ng challenge. Itong the Navigators Iloilo. I think that's from the joust and the net ni Yoyong Mendoza and ni Apolinario.
No, if there's one thing that we can appreciate is the fans have been animated as well. Especially in these last sets. Because of that huge comeback by Iloilo. Nagtatayuan na rin sila.
And we're having a close fifth set.
Right.
Actually, close third, fourth, and fifth set.
Both third and fourth were extended. We did mention that the scores have been closer and closer as the match went on. It was a 6-point win in set number 1 for Santa Rosa, 4 points in set 2. All right, was there a net touch? Oh, pababa, on the foot.
Was there? There was not.
Wala.
It was just from our angle, pero yung bola, yung tumama sa net.
Okay.
So unsuccessful challenge there by Iloilo. Now Santa Rosa was able to cut down the lead by 1 point.
12 serving 13 at set number 5. Espanza on the first ball. Oh, miscue. Chance here for Santa Rosa. Mendoza. Balik kay Jade. Ball up. Naitawid. Apolinario. Diskitado.
That was a good check by the City Lions.
They go to the quick. Good effort right there by Iloilo, and it's all worth it as Guaza scores.
That was a good change of play for Iloilo.
Cortez keeping that ball alive. It ultimately ends up with Nas Guaza on the quick. Match point.
Maging matapang tayo sa ginagawa natin. Diba, tayo may kagustuhan nito eh. Diba, pag naandyan na kayo, iba na yan. Diba, laban na. Boys, kaya pa yan. Wala pa naman eh, hindi pa naman tapos ha. All muna natin, isa-isa muna tayo.
All good
ha?
pa.
All good pa.
Yes, Santa Rosa!
The score is 14-12 in favor of Iloilo the Navigators against the Santa Rosa City Lions. What a comeback this has been for Iloilo with their undefeated record on the line. Santa Rosa, they do have a 3-game winning streak of their own also on the line. J.M. Apolinario now serving. Ball up by Montemayor. Here's Yoyong. Sent back. Mendoza again. Oh! Strong hit. Lead cut down to 1.
Ganda ng bawi na yon ni Yoyong Mendoza. Kaya naman, napapatawag na naman ito ng timeout ang The Navigators Iloilo. Take a look at this.
Great recovery by Yoyong after his first hit was sent back. Pakinggan natin.
Hey, sino sa harapan? Tatlo kayo, oh.
Sige. Pasahan nyo ng maayos. Maayos. Ako naman.
Sige, yan. Focus lang muna sa pasa. Pasa ka muna. Game, go!
One last play to try to end this matchup. If not, we're gonna have another extended set. That's how close it has been. 13 serving 14. Axel Book will do the honors. Can he tie things up? Or will the 3-game winning streak come to an end for Santa Rosa? De Pedro got the first ball. Apolinario to Guaza! And there you have it, folks! What a comeback for the D Navigators of Iloilo. Down 2-0. Down by 8 points in set number 4. And they stay undefeated.
Yeah, what a game by the Navigators Iloilo. Like what you mentioned nga, down sila by first 2 sets and they were able to redeem themselves. Got the third, fourth set and definitely closing this game to an extended match courtesy of that quick attack by Guaza.
What a way to win this game, Migs.
And Iloilo will now go up to 6 wins, 0 losses. Santa Rosa's winning streak is now snapped, going down to 3-5. But what a game that was, as you mentioned. We'll be back to wrap this one up.
Mic check. Good evening, volleyball fans. We are live here in Paco Arena, Manila for your Spiker Surf Open Conference. And with me is player of the game of the Iloilo Navigators, Jade Disquitado, with 25 points, 24 attacks, and 1 block. Congratulations, Jade.
Thank you po, thank you.
And syempre, Jade, kapag sa ganitong mga kalapit na set point, ano yung nilalagay mo sa isip mo para mapunta sa inyo yung panapos?
Nilalagay ko lang sa isip ko is kada pag sinetsaan yung bola is lagi kong paparaanan para makapuntos kami, para matapos namin yung laro na kami yung nanalo.
At talaga naman pag may gusto, may paraan. And secondly, at such a young age, you handle court pressure so well. So gaano kalaking factor ang composure and of course ang leadership mo sa team?
Gaano kalaking factor? Siyempre, sobrang laking factor nun lalo sa team kasi kung hindi ako maglilid sa team namin ay walang mangyayari kasi kailangan naglilid din ako kasi ako yung parang veterano sa team namin, so kailangan kong tulungan yung mga ka-teammate ko.
At talagang napakabait mong kuya sa kanila at nakikinig sila sa'yo. Congratulations again, Jade, and to the rest of the Iloilo Navigators. More intense volleyball action this Sunday where power meets passion.
Thank you, Alexis. Sa lagay na yun, 18 years old, kuya na si Jade Disquitado. But that's how good he has been. Again, coming from that national team, stint training in Taiwan. He's back, and he's won in back-to-back games in 5 sets. No less against Navy and now against Santa Rosa. This is actually a good momentum builder for them because, Maneng, Iloilo's next 2 games are Imus and Signal HD.
So both of those teams are actually undefeated also.
Imus is not, but they're on top of the standings.
Right. So that will be a big game. Itong the Navigators Iloilo, but what a game also for Disquitado. He got 25 points coming off from 24 attacks and 1 block. But not just that, yung defense niya and receive whenever he's in the back row, really stretching to save yung mga na-check na bola ng blockers nila. Now we're looking at the statistics on set 5. Attack points lamang Navigators by 1 point, 11 to 10. They were able to get 2 block points for that set. And no service ace. Santa Rosa got 1, but pantay lang tayo sa errors. But yung last stretch na yon for the Navigators Iloilo, really coming their teamwork. They were able to have a better teamwork. Sila yung lumamang. Simulang lumamang for that set 5. Unlike yung mga previous sets, sila yung palagi naghahabol. But they were able to sustain their lead hanggang sa natapos na nga yung set na yon, coming off from their good teamwork and yung ganda ng quick attacks ni Guazam na nakita naman ni Apolinario ka naman ginamit yung kanyang mga middle blockers or attackers for that set.
Now that's the Iloilo team that we knew.
That's right.
How they started in this conference. Again, they're still undefeated. They go up to 6-0. Santa Rosa, they did play very well though. We gotta give credit to them. Almost won this in set 3, even in set 4. As we set you up for Sunday's triple header, NU versus Army at 12:30, Signal versus Cotabato. That's a good one. 2 undefeated teams at 3 p.m. and Vanguard versus Air Force to finish things off at 5:30 p.m. What a day it has been. Another beautiful day for Philippine volleyball. Thank you so much for joining us, folks. In behalf of our courtside reporter, Alexis Tinsay, and my partner, now the queen of 5 sets, Maneng Mercado de Conix Water. My name is Mix Gomez, and this has been your Spikers Turf 2023 Open Conference.